Please let the Muslims live by that. When we say Islam, we talk about Muhammad. Muhammad said all this conniving nonsense that they're doing everywhere. Even today they're continuing like this. This whole thing is unfortunately not coming from Islamic community. I request all of them, please understand whom you represent. You represent Muhammad, you cannot do this. When we say Islam, we talk about Muhammad. Muhammad said, whole earth is a mosque for me. Can you make a more inclusive statement than that? Please let the Muslims live by that. When we say Hindus, now they're talking about Ram. Rama is that kind of man. Just out of his integrity, he gives up his kingdom. He's a coronated king, but he walks away into the forest. And his wife is stolen. Terrible things are done. But when he kills his enemy who stole his wife and did terrible things to the people, he repents having killed him. So that is the man you're fighting for, don't forget. And for the leftists, let them remember all this conniving nonsense that they're doing everywhere. Even today they're continuing like this. I want to remind them, they are not progeny of Joseph Stalin or Mao Zedong. They are supposed to represent Karl Marx, who thought of an equitable society, a society without disparities, a compassionate economy which will nurture every human being. This is what he represents. Please let all three remember this. Right now this fanning of Hindu Muslims must fight, this whole thing is unfortunately not coming from Islamic community or largely from Hindu community. There are fringe elements on both sides, I'm not saying no, but largely it is coming from left-leaning extremists. What is their interest in religion? They should not even be interested in religion. But they are always playing with this. I request all of them, please understand whom you represent. You represent Muhammad, you cannot do this. If you represent Ram, you cannot do this. If you represent Karl Marx, you cannot do this.
So left-leaning extremists. Now, the Prime Minister has come up with a term to describe some of them. He says that they have occupied a vast influence over the minds of this country because they are located very close to the center of power. I mean, you can call it the Latvian zone, you can call it the Khan market consensus, what have you. But do you believe these individuals have a motivated interest, or are they just ideologically driven to doing this?
See, that is what I said. Their ideology is about Karl Marx. They are motivated because, unfortunately, they have understood this. When Marx envisioned communism, he thought richest nations will go for communism because he believed out of our humanity we will become communist. But right now, they have understood only if there is poverty, there will be communism. To convert people into communism, you need endemic poverty in this nation. So they are working towards that. They must be defeated because this is not good for the country. The country is striving to progress. People are striving to fulfill their aspirations. And some people, their aspiration is based in poverty as a capital.
Very interesting, very eye-opening and interesting. Sadhguru, I want to ask you that inevitably in a court case, there will be one winner and loser.
I'm telling you, they're...
Yes. No, go ahead. You were saying something. Go ahead.
No, I'm telling you how far this goes means, this is not just about temple and mosque. These same people are going about campaigning. If you plant a lot of trees, it's dangerous for the country.
Ved Prakash Upadhyay is a person from India who knows a lot about the Sanskrit language and Hinduism. He writes books, teaches and helps people in society. One of his famous books talks about how there are mentions of a person named Muhammad in Hindu scripture. In 2017, he won an award for his writing in the Sanskrit language. He also received another award for his writing in Punjabi in the same year. In 2019, he was given a special certificate from the President of India for his work in Sanskrit. He was also given a fellowship and a special title by a government organization. Additionally, he was chosen to be the leader of Sanskrit organization in state in India. Kalki Avatar and Muhammad were important people from different religions and cultures. Kalki Avatar is believed to be a future Hindu god who will come to save the world, while Muhammad was the prophet of Islam who lived a long time ago. Though they come from different backgrounds, both Kalki Avatar and Muhammad are respected by their followers and are seen as significant figures in their respective religions. Upadhyay wrote a book called Kalki Avatar and Muhammad in 1969. It was published by a group in Allahabad. The book is based on another book called Muhammad in World Scriptures by Abdul Haq Vidyarthi. In this book, Upadhyay talks about how he believes that the Hindu scripture mentions the Islamic prophet Muhammad as the avatar of Kalki. The book is written in Hindi and discusses the idea using texts like the Kalki Purana, Vedas, and Bhavishya Purana. Using analogies to explain something means comparing it to something else that is easier to understand. It is like saying that something is similar to something else so that it becomes clearer. For example, if I want to explain how a car works to a child, I might say that it's like a big toy car that you can drive around. This helps the child understand the concept of car because they can relate it to something they already know. In a book, Ved Prakash said that Kali Yuga means the Islamic golden age, and now we are in Anu Yuga, which is the time for atomic energy. This book also talks about similarities between Kalki and Muhammad, and this is discussed in the other two books in the series too. Hindu views are beliefs that people who follow Hinduism have. Hinduism is a religion that people in some parts of the world follow, like India. Hindus believe in different gods and goddesses, and they have special ceremonies and rituals to worship them. They also believe in things like karma, which means that the good and bad things you do in the life will affect what happens to you in the future. Overall, Hindu views are about living a good life, being kind to others, and finding happiness and peace. This book talks about belief that the Kalki Avatar, who is a Hindu figure, is Muhammad, who is an Islamic prophet. The book uses Hindu scriptures like the Kalki Purana, Bhavishya Purana, Bhagavata Purana, and Vedas as evidence. However, many Hindu scholars disagree with this belief and criticize it. There is also an Indian organization called Agniveer that criticizes these claims. Another book called Kalki Avatar in the Light of Inherent to Vedic Scriptures discusses this topic. A Hindu spiritual leader named Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Guruji also mentions Muhammad as a Mahamada in a specific part of the Bhavishya Purana. This part talks about a teacher named Muhammad who will bring a new religion to the people of the desert, which is similar to what is mentioned in the book. In the book, some things are similar between Muhammad and Kalki. They both fought battles and rode on white horses with swords. Some people say these similarities are important, but others think it's right to understand them straightforwardly. They believe it can be confusing and give a wrong meaning. The story also talks about the history of a group of people called the Mughals and mentions someone named Muhammad. Some people say that Muhammad described in the story is a bad person called Tripurasura who is reborn. They also say that the word Muslim means someone who destroys religion. The other of the stories mentions other important people like Christ, Moses, and Queen Victoria. In another part of the story, it talks about different historical figures like Adam, Noah, Akbar, and others. It also mentions the British ruling India, talks about places like Calcutta and Parliament. The book says that the Vedas, which are ancient texts, have predictions about Muhammad. One example is section called Narasamsa in the Atharva Veda, Kuntapa Sukta, which means to praise someone. Some people say that this section describes Muhammad's predictions. However, it seems to be talking about a king named Indra who is praised. There is no evidence that it has anything to do with Muhammad. Some people think that the book is trying to prove Muhammad's predictions by finding similar words and meanings in the Vedas. But others are skeptical of this interpretation. Some people who study Hinduism disagree with what the book says. They think it does not look like the Kalki Avatar. Other Indian groups also don't agree with these claims. Kalki Deva is a special character in Hinduism who is believed to be like a god named Lord Vishnu. He will come to earth after a very long time, in about 4,27,000 years. Kalki is different from the normal humans and has special parents and wives. The place where Kalki comes from described as a beautiful village with rivers, mountains and forest. Some people think this village is in India. Kalki was born on a certain day, but for another important character in another religion, Muhammad, there is some disagreement about his birthday. Kalki is also described as the fourth child, while Muhammad is not. Muslims have their own beliefs and ideas about the world. They follow a religion called Islam, which teaches them how to live a good and peaceful life. Just like how different people have different opinions, Muslims also have their unique views on things. Zakir Naik, who is an Indian Islamic teacher, has talked about a book written by Ved Prakash in many of his writings. He has mentioned that book's name and the author's name carefully. A person from Pakistan named Afrazia Mehdi Hashmi talked about the book in his writing. Other famous writers from different countries also talked about and liked the book. In a book by Zia Rahman Azmi called Studies on Judaism, Christianity and Indian Religions, it is mentioned that many Muslim scholars do not believe that Hindu scriptures are messages from God. Instead, they think they were written by people. However, there are three possible reasons why some Islamic predictions might be found on Hinduism. The first reason is the period of Indo-Aryan migration was the time of Prophet Abraham, during which time another prophet may have come to India, under whose direction these professions are included. Or as many Hindus says, the Rig Veda was copied from the Torah. According to Sultan Mubin, a professor of Sanskrit at Shibli National University, another view is that these are fabrications incorporated by Hindus to please Muslim rules who later become Hindus. It is said that it was added by the teachings, many professors regarding Islamic issues. In support of this view, Azmi claims that during the reign of Caliph Muhammad bin al-Rashid, most of the Hindu scriptures were translated into Arabic in Bat al-Hikim. But even then, the author did not mention these prophecies in any of his books. These books and two others of his are Arabic translations of Hindu scriptures. As for translation, it says nothing about these prophecies. In his book, the author Ved Prakash Upadhyay talked about Muhammad in Hinduism. He said that Muhammad is like a special character called Kalki Avatar. Now, people who follow the Hindu religion can pray in the Gyanavapi mosque. Also, there are videos about Sadhguru's plan to rebuild the city of Kashi. If you want to watch these videos, click here.